Hey, Dan here, and there's an Ask Dan question I want to cover today, which is all about deciding what to do and where to focus when you're first starting out. Now, this question came in from Craig, who is an ENFP, but I think it applies to a lot of people from different personality types, but especially ENFPs, because we tend to have a lot of possibility thinking. What if? What could we do? And especially when you're starting out and you don't really have that grounded in anything, it can be quite tough. And so it's very common, and I went through this as well. I'm not going to read you Craig's question because it was about the length of a decent autobiography, and I don't think you need to know his entire life story, but essentially he's working a very normal job just to pay the bills, and at the same time thinking about lots of different businesses he could do, including lots of different coaching possibilities and that kind of thing. And basically, this is quite common for ENFPs to be really keen on like coaching, getting into something. He mentioned he'd already filmed a video course, a training course for people, and then not released it. And this is, I think it's a human impulse, but especially an ENFP impulse. When we learn something new, we want to teach it. And it happens a lot at like Tony Robbins events. Everyone goes to a Tony Robbins event and you realize like, wow, my job sucks. And then suddenly everyone wants to be Tony Robbins rather than necessarily finding their own path. It's kind of like, oh, I like this guy on YouTube telling me to quit my job, so I'll quit my job and start a YouTube channel. And maybe that is the right fit for you, but it's probably worthwhile to spend some time figuring out what your right path actually is, rather than kind of jumping into like, if a psychiatrist helps you with something, that doesn't mean you want to become a psychiatrist right away or whatever it is. I want to read you, and I'll kind of skim read and maybe improvise a bit here, my response back to Craig, because there's some things that I think are really important for a lot of us here to pick up on. Hey Craig, one piece of advice jumped out for me, and it's something important for most people starting to work for themselves, and especially us ENFPs. Where can you authentically provide the most value? And so when you're talking about value, I'm talking about where you can really help people and actually make a difference. In this internet world, there are so many people telling you like, write a book, make a course, make money online, and all this kind of bullshit. And most of those people are obviously making money telling you to make money making a course. It's not one of these. And there is some truth to that we have expertise we can share. The thing is you need that expertise. So it's very tough in kind of the psychological world when you're kind of wanting to do coaching or training or that to know when you're at that point of having enough value. But one of the things that jumped out for me is Craig mentioned wanting to do, eventually at some point, wanting to teach a course about Myers-Briggs, these personality types, right? But at the same time, he mentioned he just discovered his own personality type. And so this is a very kind of ENFP tendency of wanting to like teach everything and do everything without really developing an authentic expertise, like where you can really help people. If I look at myself, when I first started traveling, that was 2012, the beginning of it. I moved to Costa Rica, and I moved to New York, blah, blah, blah. You don't need my whole story because you'll get a little jealous. It was awesome. And in 2013, I realized that I really wanted to be moving to the coaching side. I'd already completed some coaching training and done some work in it in Vancouver before I left. And I did not want to be freelance writing that much anymore. I wanted to shift to teaching people. So I put together a training course. I forget the name. I don't necessarily, it's embarrassing. But I put together like a 6-month training course to become location independent, right? And tried to promote it, and that bombed, and I actually tell the whole story in my upcoming book coming this fall. But it was a painful story. It was rough. But I ended up with a couple students, and I made the content, and no one complained about the content, but looking back, knowing what I know now, it was garbage. And I was like teaching because I was like grabbing at straws, like what can I teach people? How can I fill up lesson plans? Like, because my focus was I want to do this, not I want to help people, or not I have a way to help people. It was like, oh, I want to have a course, so let's just do this and think I know what I'm talking about. Fast forward to 2016. At that point, I had been coaching people one-on-one for 3 years. So not making a big course, but working one-on-one with people, figuring out like what's actually holding them back, their problems, all that. I'd also been teaching really cheap courses online, like video-based, and seeing where people get hung up and that sort of thing. And so when I started the Free Freelancer in 2016, what I taught was almost entirely different than what I would have taught in 2013, and in a very good way. Like it is embarrassing to think of what I sort of would have taught when I was starting out because I didn't have that expertise yet. I was just trying to teach something, to have like a business like that, and also because I was called to it. It's like what made me happy is like helping people and teaching them, but I wasn't really ready. I didn't really have the expertise to authentically teach someone. And so the question again is where can you authentically provide the most value? And there's two possible answers here. One is that you do have a gift. Maybe there's a specialty that you know because you studied something, or you had a hobby where you're amazing at something, or there's something where you really do have an expertise, like you're less than 1% of the population and how you can help people or know a topic. The other answer, and don't get mad at me here, is that you've got to put in your time before you have that expertise. Maybe go work for someone else and learn from them and spend 3 or 4 years in the grind, working for a successful coach or a professor or something, and learn this stuff and learn it really well so you know you can deliver a lot of value, and then go off and teach something. I know that may not be the popular answer, but it's something to look at yourself. If you can't really answer that of like, where can I really help people? Where do I have that gift or knowledge? You might want to put in your legwork. Now, with that, what I go on to say to Craig is, I don't mean this as a dig. Dig is like a kind of insult. But as an ENFP, if you are not providing real value, if you're not really helping someone as an ENFP, you're going to know that you're bullshitting them. You're going to have a negative feeling in yourself of like, am I a scam artist? Is this real? On some level, you'll have that if you're a good ENFP. There are some kind of sociopath ones, but the good ones will have that. And so what will happen is you're going to feel guilty because you're promoting something and you don't know if it will really help people or if it does. And that guilt is going to drain your energy and your motivation, so you're not actually going to feel comfortable promoting your product, and then nothing will happen with it, which might explain why you finished a course but not actually released it yet. I know I went through this myself with stuff where I didn't really know if my work was helping people, and so I was hesitant to promote it, and it kind of held me back a lot, where there are other people who can just put out crap. A lot of actually guru guys who you probably see advertising on Facebook, I know their products are garbage, and they know their products are garbage, but they don't give a crap. They just focus on marketing and making money. If you're a fan of mine here, you're probably not wired that way. You have a soul, you have a conscience, and so it's really important that you believe in what you market and what you sell, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to drive yourself to keep selling it, and then you're going to kind of self-sabotage and try something else and keep bouncing around because you don't believe in yourself. And that's a good thing, because it means you have a soul, and it means that you want to do something that will actually help people. So the next thing is, I suggest to Craig and to you that if you are starting off and perhaps you don't want to go the route I said of like working for someone else or really developing that skill, or if you have a sense of something where you think you can really help people with this, then start out really cheap and get that experience. So I say, pick the avenue you can help people with the most, then offer your services one-on-one for cheap. This might be scary because in one-on-one interactions, you know if they get results or not. And so one of my theories is that I think a lot of people gravitate towards teaching video courses or creating a product out of fear of whether or not they can really help people in a one-on-one situation. And so, and this is coming from my own experience and my own emotions around some stuff, is that even though in theory you should be much more of an expert before you put out a course or write a book, because that requires you to really understand everyone and make material that will speak to them. I think a lot of people do it because one-on-one they couldn't really help anyone, or they're scared they can't. Maybe they can help someone, but they have a fear that they can't. And then, so they gravitate towards doing a video course. The benefit of working one-on-one with someone is that you're getting immediate feedback. So you can try something, try helping them, and if that doesn't work, you realize that. And so when you eventually make a course, you understand your market so well that you can just create something awesome for them and pre-address all the problems. So like when I look at making training courses now, I know my market so well, or my students so well, I should say, both really, is that I can like preemptively answer their questions, that I know, okay, they're going to struggle with this, and so I'm going to make a unit addressing that in advance. And there are things that I would never have known about had I not worked one-on-one and really got that insight into what people go through in terms of whatever it is they're trying to achieve. In my case, it's around location independence and freelancing. So I suggest work with people one-on-one, spend a year doing this, and gradually raising your prices. Get to the point where you know you can help people, not just teaching things you naturally do well, but actually teaching other people who aren't good at that how to do it. And then you'll be able to create an amazing course or program you'll feel good about, and that means you'll feel great about promoting it. You won't have any self-doubt in there. So to end it is, what is that area for you? Where are you authentically able to deliver the most value to actually help people? And something ideally beyond kind of your natural personality type. So if you are an ENFP, you're going to be very good at kind of talking and maybe speaking, giving advice, that kind of thing. Where beyond that are you then even better? So if you were in a room with 50 ENFPs, which someone suggested in one of my videos we should organize, I will not, that'll be a nightmare. If you were in a room with 50 other people of your same personality type, in that room, what would you stand out? Where would you have a gift? And that's going to be somewhere really unique that you might want to look at in terms of specializing. All right, thank you for watching this. If you found it helpful, subscribe to the channel for new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Seriously, subscribe. You don't want to miss them. And if you want to go deeper with my stuff, I do offer a free training on my website called the Life Design Approach, which is a 9-part email series. It involves sex stories, Germans, 50 Shades of Grey, and some good business and life advice mixed in there too. So I've been told it's like the best email newsletter out there because it's hilarious and offensive and also really educational and stuff. So if you go to dreamsaroundtheworld.com, you can sign up for that. It's all free. Or yeah, just go to that. You'll see the big thing at the front. It's like me walking on a beach in a blue shirt, but a cartoon version. And you click like free training or something like that, subscribe, then you'll get it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.